Hello everyone and welcome. So what we are going to do in this video is to use Composer to include a dependency into our project, and also if we have enough time we might use PHP on it, alright? But before we continue, I would like to check the code inside the folder src. So I have already opened the file index.php, as you can see in here. Usually, when a request comes to your web application, the first file that will be served is the index.php. So this file basically acts as an entry point to your web application. All right. Anyways, the first lines of code in this file are used to enable error reporting on PHP. Usually, when you are on development environment, you want to see informative messages on your web browser. By default, this feature is turned off on PHP, and you need to enable it manually. And one way to enable it is using these lines, basically, of code. All right. When you go to development to production environment, you usually don't need to see error messages, you can say. So you basically remove these lines. These two lines are used to include two PHP files. The first one is called Autoload Php, which exists inside a folder called vendor, and the other one is a file called user.php, which exists in the same location as our index.php, as you can see. The user.php basically contains a class called user, which has nothing you can say actually. All right. Let me talk more about this one. The vendor folder is a folder which is used by Composer to include all the dependencies, or which includes all the dependencies that are loaded using Composer. And as you can see in here, we still don't have this folder, and it will be created once we include a dependency using Composer. And this file is basically used to load all classes, you can say, in the dependency. So, to include a dependency into our project, there are two ways. One way is to edit the composer.json manually and include the dependency inside there. And the other way is to right-click your project, then select Composer from the menu, and then hit Add Dependency. From this window, you can basically type any keyword and then hit search, and it will show you a list of matching, you can say, dependencies. So for example, we might search for, let's say, word, and let's see what we'll get. So anything which is related to the keyword word will appear in here. So what you have to do is basically select the dependency, then wait a little bit, then you select the version that you want from this drop-down menu, or you can select star to basically get the latest version of the dependency, and then hit require or require div. What is the difference between require and require div? Require div is an option which is used to include the dependency only on the development environment. And the option require is used to include the dependency in the development and the production environment. For example, one of the libraries you usually include in the development environment is PHP unit. So, for example, you search for PHP unit, let's search, then select PHP unit, which is this one, and then so you can select any version you like, as usual, anyways. and then hit require div in this case, because PHP unit is usually used for testing, and testing is done in the uh, development environment. Anyways, let's try to load the library into production. JSON X search, which is basically this one, and I want to select I'm gonna select 2.1 and then hit require. Once you hit require, a tab will open at the lower side of your IDE, which is basically showing the status of installation, you can say. And once the library is installed, you will see down here. And in addition to that, you will have a file called composer.lock, which basically used to lock the version, you can say. I'm not actually sure what does this file do. Anyways, now the dependency is included, and we have the folder vendor, as you can see in here. And the dependency is loaded inside this file. Do we have enough time? Actually, we are running out of time. Anyways, one last thing to do. Let's go to our web browser and try to run the project, alright? So let's open a new tab and then go to localhost and then PHP template and then src. Let's see what we'll get. Alright, we get our user object. I think that's enough for this video, and thanks for watching, alright?